Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm coming at y'all with an update on the Texas track stabbing. Um, there was a press conference earlier with Carmelo Anthony's parents and representatives speaking to the family. Um, Also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm also going to give y'all an update on the Dallas school shooting, and I'm also going to give y'all an update on what just happened at Florida State University. First and foremost, um, prayers for everyone involved. With that being said, let's get into the update of the Texas track stabbing. Let's go. Let's speed this up just a little bit.
First time. Karmelo Anthony, for those who are not familiar with the case, is a Frisco ISD teenager who was accused of stabbing another Frisco ISD student, Austin Metcalf, at a track meet earlier this month. This is a case that has garnered a lot of attention, not only in our area, but around.
And I'm telling y'all ahead of time, we just here is probably going to be an hour, between an hour to 90 minutes. So with that being said, get you something to eat, drink, whatever. We're gonna be here a while.
Of the country. And so this is, again, for the first time that we're actually going to hear from Anthony's parents. His father actually testified in a bond hearing earlier this week, but this will be the first time that we're actually hearing his parents address the media. You can see there on your screen that there's a podium set up, there's media in this room, a big show out to be able to, actually hear from these parents who say that they want to set the record straight. The Next Generation Information Network in Dallas is actually hosting this press conference. And the president of that organization says that the family really wants to address what he called the weight of falsehoods in this case. Since this happened, and again, lots of conversation about this case on social media, not just in North Texas, but all over the country. And, earlier this week when there was a bond.
Okay. I thought that it was a press conference. There was also a hearing earlier today for Mr. Anthony as well, and I'm also gonna come back with what happened in that hearing. Uh, let's continue.
Who had been in jail up until that point. His father did testify. You can see him there on your screen. This is video of him leaving that bond hearing after a judge made the decision to lower his bond from $1 million to $250,000. Anthony is able to be home at this time, but he does have to wear an ankle monitor. He has to ask for permission to leave his home. He is facing a murder charge in this case. And according to the affidavit that was released from the original arrest, Anthony told police that he did stab Metcalf, but he said he did it out of self-defense. Again, this is video of him leaving that bond hearing on Monday. His father actually testified at this hearing, and we are just moments away from hearing from both of his parents for the first time, who are going to address the media and from their point of view tell their truth in this case. There's been a lot of speculation online about this case, a lot of conversation about this, and so the Next Generation Action Network is hosting these parents who say that they want to tell their side of the story. This press conference was scheduled to start at 11 o'clock. You see that podium is set up. You can kind of hear the rumblings in the background of the media. We're going to let you go be in that room for a little bit and check back in with you.
Hopefully they'll start talking soon. If not, I'll just speed up till they start talking. Let me speed this up.
If you are just joining us now on WFA Plus, we are taking you live right now to a conference room at the Next Generation Action Network office in Dallas. This is a group that has been really advocating for the family of Karmelo Anthony, who's a Frisco ISD student who's accused of stabbing and killing another Frisco ISD student at a track meet earlier this month. This is a case that has been really talked about all over North.
I apologize for having it super fast, but the reason I'm sped it up super fast is so we can go ahead, cut through the dead air and get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on here. So y'all just gonna have to bear with me. I got it on 2 times fast, but once I start talking, I'll turn it down to 1.5 or either 1.25, whichever one.
Something that we've seen has gained national attention. And today, for the first time, Anthony's parents are going to address the media. The president of the Next Gen Action Network says that the purpose of this press conference today is for the family to address what he calls a wave of falsehoods. They have been very critical of the way that this case has been discussed. He says the family wants to tell their truth. Now, earlier this week on Monday, Anthony was actually released from jail after a judge decided to lower his bond from $1 million to $250,000. I believe we do have some video of Anthony leaving the jail on Monday after his father testified during that bond hearing. So he is at home. He is required to wear an ankle monitor. He has to ask for permission to leave. Here's that video for you now of him leaving that bond hearing on Monday. After being held there following this incident, this occurred again at a track meet, a UIL track meet. 2 Frisco ISD students involved here, Karmelo Anthony, accused of stabbing and killing another student. Now, according to an affidavit, Anthony told police he admitted to stabbing Austin Metcalf, the other student who passed away in this incident. He admitted to stabbing him, but said he did it out of self-defense. So again, this has been something that has spurred so much conversation in our area. This again is the first time we're going to hear from his family actually addressing the media. It's unclear what exactly they're going to talk about, if they're going to take any questions, but it is significant that we're going to hear from. We're expecting to hear from his mother today for the first time. We heard from his father during that bond hearing, who she said she wants to tell her truth. So we are just standing by for that press conference to begin. It's taking place in Dallas at the Next Gen Action Network office. And this is a group that has really been advocating for this family, raising money for this family, being very vocal on social media for this family, and really garnering support. So we are still standing by for that. It was set to start at 11 o'clock. Looks like the podium is set up. I don't know if we can take another look into that room. The media is ready, and we're just waiting for someone to take the podium there. So we will update you when we have any updates from that press conference. We do want to update you on some new information we just received from the newsroom. Obviously, this press conference was supposed to start at 11. It's a little delayed. We have heard that the reason for this delay is that the father of Austin Metcalf, the child who was killed in this case, has arrived to the press conference. We confirmed in between, mourning the loss of his son, he's very vocal about, the way that this case has been talked about. So he has arrived to this press conference. We haven't heard about any conversations that have happened at this point. I'm not sure what the energy of his presence is there, but we do know that the reason this press conference is starting late is because he has arrived. Again, if you are just joining us, we are preparing to hear from Karmelo Anthony's parents, who are going to address the media for the first time, and we are now hearing that both the parents of the child who passed away in this case and the child who was accused of the stabbing and killing this case are both present at this event. We will update you as soon as we have any more information about when this is going to start and any information about what is going to be shared here today.
speed this up some.
If you are just joining us now on WFA Plus, I just want to bring you back into what you're looking at there on your screen. This is the Next Generation Action Network office. Says they will not start the press conference while he is in the room. So we are just standing by. Seems to be a bit of a stalemate at this time. Again, he has been asked to leave. Obviously, he's still standing there. So it's unclear. What the resolution will be here. We will keep you updated. We're going to stay here until we see what happens here. Sorry, I'm getting more updates from our producer now. So we're standing by. Joe Penniger is actually in the room here. He's the one who was sending photos and covering this case. He's actually at the Next Gen office with us. So we're standing by for a live update from him inside of the room. But if you are just joining us, we are trying to hear from Karmelo Anthony's parents, and we are kind of standing by to see what comes of Austin Metcalf's father being in the room, and Anthony's parents saying they're not going to speak till he leaves. We're going to see if we can get Jobin Penniger to give us an update live as well. All right, well, we are being told that Jobin Penniger is going to be available in just a little bit. So until he is, just want to give you a quick update in this case. You know, earlier this week, actually on Monday, Anthony was released from jail after his bond was lowered, so he's able to be at home. We're told he's not actually at this press conference right now. His parents are expected to speak, and we are hoping to get an update from them if this situation can be resolved with Jeff Metcalf being there. And again, Jobin Penniger is actually live there, so we're going to take him now.
Conference was supposed to start here at 11 o'clock. We're here in downtown Dallas. This press conference was precipitated by Next Generation Action Network, a Dallas-based advocacy group, speaking on behalf of the Karmelo Anthony family. You know, over the last 2 weeks, we've been getting press statements from them. This was the opportunity to hear from them for the first time. We're now hearing from Dominic Alexander with Next Generation that this press conference has been delayed. We're going to have Billy Bryant, who's one of our photographers, go out and show you a lot of the people here still waiting for this press conference to happen. And the reason for this delay is because Austin Metcalf's father is here, Jeff Metcalf. As you know, Karmelo Anthony was arrested, charged with murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Police say Metcalf was stabbed with a knife at a track meet in Frisco. You see there a picture of Jeff Metcalf. He is on his phone. Had a chance to talk with somebody there with Next Generation Action Network. They tell us they've asked Jeff Metcalf to leave. He said no. They said they were going to call DPD to remedy the situation, have Jeff Metcalf leave, because there's, according to Next Generation, they are not going to have both families here in the same location at the same time. They said there's a court order that says that. We've been looking through some of our documents. I don't think there's anything that says that per se. Now, there is some language that says Karmelo Anthony cannot have any connection with the Metcalf family in any way. So we're still trying to figure out what's going on here. Still a very fluid situation. Again, a delay here. It's supposed to start at 11 o'clock. It is now after 11:30. We'll see what ends up precipitating here.
Obviously very heightened when you have this situation and both families in the same room when they haven't had this before, so that is understandable. Okay, well listen, we'll check back in with you. We know you're talking to people, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Thank you so much, Jobin. Okay, so you don't miss any.
You just heard from Jobin Penniger, who is actually live at the Next Gen Action Network office in Dallas. If you're curious at all about how Jeff Metcalf was able to get in there, just if you've never been there, they actually have an office in a co-working space. So there are other offices in that building as well. So that's probably how he was able to easily get into there. And again, the Anthony family says they're not going to speak while he's there. Next Generation says they don't want both families in the same place. Now, earlier this week on Monday, there was a bond hearing held, and that's where a judge actually lowered Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. We actually went to some in-depth conversation in a special that we produced just on this issue to help walk you through this with some of our reporters who have actually been covering this extensively. And I want to give you a look at that while we wait for an update in this situation.
Thanks for joining us here on WFA Plus. I'm Chris Sonnegy, and we are going to take you inside the hearing, the bond hearing for Karmelo Anthony that happened on Monday morning. There's a lot of public interest on this case. There were no cameras allowed inside the courtroom. So joining me are Jobin Penniger and Brittany Moncrief. The three of us were inside that courtroom, and we're here to really take you through what was said, what you were not able to see here because of the ban on cameras. We're going to take you from before the hearing to everything that happened during, and then everything that happened after, and then we have the raw interviews with the DA, the defense attorney, and also the NAACP. I want to start before the hearing. Jobin, you cover Collin County a lot. You covered a lot of cases at that courthouse. Can you compare the security detail for yesterday's hearing compared to others that you've covered?
So I've been covering Collin County for 12 years, covered some high-profile cases in Collin County, now court trials in Collin County. We had the Grace Ford murder case, toddler who was killed. We had Christina Morris, first missing, then later found dead. That murder case, the Shamir case, that also had some Collin County connections as well. So this was a bond hearing, and normally bond hearings happen within minutes. And it's usually a stack of papers, and the judge goes through them and says, you know, bond approved for this amount, and they go through a lot of them all on Monday, and they have, like I said, within minutes. This was not the case, right? We had a setup, we had a media plan. They had a plan for all the media to get there early. There was security. There were 8 to 10 officers, 8 to 10 deputies from the Collin County Sheriff's Department. There we had to go through 2 sets of metal detectors to get into this bond hearing, very unlike what we normally do.
Yeah, and Brittany, the 2 families, the Metcalf family and the Anthony family, one thing I observed is the deputies that were there, that Joe had mentioned, they had a plan to make sure the families were on different sides of the courtroom, and also leaving the courtroom when it was done. One went after the other to prevent any kind of conflict.
Absolutely, they had pretty much, it was like a pretty strict schedule. Even when we were waiting in the lobby area right outside the courtroom, we saw Anthony's family being escorted into a side room. And around 8:30 is when they decided to let media in, and then at exactly like 8:40, that's when the family started going in. And even when we went into the courtroom, we were filed in one by one, and they made sure each seat was filled. Media in the back, we sat right behind Metcalf's family, and then on the opposite side was Anthony's family, the Anthony family.
So once everybody was inside the courtroom, the first thing we were looking for was when Karmelo Anthony was brought into the courtroom. Was there anything about him, his appearance that you observed, or the reaction in the courtroom when he entered?
So before we get into that, I wanted to mention that there were no, as you said, no cameras inside the courtroom, which is normal for Collin County, right? Was also normal for Collin County. You're not even allowed to have cameras in and around the court, in and around the courtroom. So the only place where you could have cameras was in the lobby. So all photographers were out in the lobby, the reporters were out near the courtroom. So we all get escorted in, and there's always this like, it gets really quiet as soon as the defendant walks in. And in this case, it's Karmelo Anthony, a 17-year-old kid, and he's in a yellow jumpsuit. He's handcuffed, and he's walking in, and it gets really quiet because the families are set. Families are on opposite sides of the courtroom. The media's in the back, and it gets really quiet as soon as he walks in, and then he moves straight at the dais.
Yeah, Brittany, did you observe any emotion or movement or action from my vantage point? It looked like for pretty much the duration of the hearing, he was pretty stoic, staring straight forward.
Absolutely, the whole time, just straightforward. We didn't see him turn to his family, the other family, nothing at all. One thing that we did notice, though, was Austin Metcalf. His mother immediately, well, before the hearing even began, you could see her kind of hunched over and someone there kind of comforting her. So it appears as though she might have been crying or pretty emotional during that time. But when Karmelo Anthony came in, like Jobin said, it was pretty much quiet, all eyes on him. He just kept looking straight ahead.
So then Judge Angela Tucker enters the courtroom, and she began the hearing really by pointing out the unique nature of this bond hearing. Some of the things we talked about, the public interest, some not so great things that the general public is doing, the impact they're having on this hearing. Jobin, her pregame speech, if you want to call it that, was very interesting. And also that's something from my experience covering courts that you don't always get from a judge being that upfront, that right away.
And she set the tone very early, and she started off by saying, listen, my office has been inundated by emails and calls from the public who are interested in this case. And I need you to understand that I don't have any personal connections with anybody involved in this case. And she also made sure to mention, which is something that's smart that a lot of judges do, she mentions that, one, I don't have any connection, and also I've been randomly assigned for this bond hearing, which is the way Collin County, and I'm assuming a lot of counties do it. Judge Angela Tucker, who has been there for close to, I think, 14, she's been there since 2012. Into 199. Okay, so she's very seasoned. She knows what she's doing. She says, I was randomly assigned this bond hearing. It's very likely when they go through the cycle of judges, it's the administrative judge of Collin County who decides who the next judge is to take on the next matter. It's very likely she may not get the trial if it goes to trial, or any of the pre-trial stuff that happens. So she made it very upfront that I was randomly assigned this bond hearing.
And part of that transparency, I don't know if this is what you're about to mention, Brittany, but she made clear that the Metcalf family divorce proceedings,
yes,
she was very upfront about that she did not know the Metcalfs at the time, didn't even know that this was going to be her case. I think she said just last week she learned.
Yes.
So she got it all out there on the table because she does want to head off any ideas of conspiracy or anything that the public might read into it as being any kind of conflict.
Absolutely. She said she just learned that she was assigned to the case last Monday. And as Jobin said, she went through the whole process of how judges are assigned to the cases. And as you mentioned, she talked about the Metcalf's family, the divorce that Austin Metcalf's family went through back in 2016. And she mentioned how she had no direct connection with that hearing, with that proceeding, and how it was actually handled in auxiliary court. So she laid it all out, no conflicts of interest, and even when it was time to talk about those who might be coming to the stand or speaking, she looked through those names.
To approach and get started in a few minutes. 3.
The gentleman that you just saw there on your screen at the podium is Dominique Alexander. He is the president of the Next Generation Action Network. This is the advocacy group that is actually hosting a press conference for the parents of Karmelo Anthony. They've been releasing statements for the family.
So we can put some house rules together. If we can swing over here and swing across the wall, we have security that are here in the building. We have a blended of Dallas Police Department and security for the Next Generation Action Network. Let me make this very clear because I say this unapologetically. The Next Generation Action Network has never played with the safety and security of anything. We don't play those type of games, all right? We like to, whenever we're doing a protest or anything, everybody in the media know we don't play when it comes to safety and security. So we're gonna ask one time for it, and ask you to slide over just one time. We're not gonna ask anybody something twice, okay? I will make sure that the safety of this family is ensured. It won't happen on my watch. I just want you to know so that you can quote it. If we have to ask more than once, just know that's coming at the direction of me. You can quote me on that, all right?
You just heard from Dominique Alexander, the president of the Next Gen Action Network. We are expecting to hear from the parents of Karmelo Anthony, the high school student who was accused of stabbing and killing another high school student at a track meet about 2 weeks ago. This press conference was delayed because the father of the student who was killed unexpectedly arrived at the press conference. Originally, the Next Gen Action Network said that the press conference would not go on as long as Mr. Metcalf, Jeff Metcalf, was in the room. It's unclear. I'm trying to get information about if he is still there, how that was resolved. But the president of this organization says that they are starting here in a few minutes. If you did hear what he just said, if you didn't, we'll recap you quickly. Alexander was very clear and did not mince words about security at this event. He said that there are DPD officers as well as private security in the premises. They are here. He said he was very, very clear in saying that they were only going to ask once for safety precautions to be taken. And he said, that is their big priority with this press conference. Again, unclear if Mr. Metcalf is still in the room. If you are just joining us, this is a case that has created so much speculation over the past 2 weeks. You have one family whose child is accused of murder for stabbing another student, and another family who is mourning the loss of their son. And today we are expected to hear from the parents of the child who has been accused to get their side of the story. The group that's advocating for them says that they want to set the record straight. We're getting an update now on whether or not Mr. Metcalf is still in the room. So we just learned that Mr. Metcalf, Jeff Metcalf, the father of Austin Metcalf, the teen who was killed, has left the premises. I mentioned to you a few moments ago, the Next Gen Action Network's office is actually inside of a co-working space. The owner of that co-working space asked Mr. Metcalf to leave, saying that he was trespassing, and we are told that Mr. Metcalf has left. Dominique Alexander, the president of the organization hosting this press conference, says they are expected to start in a few minutes. No word yet on any interaction that happened between Metcalf and the Anthony family, between Next Generation Action Network. We are told that a representative did ask him to leave initially, and he said no. But we are, again, being told that the owner of this space said that he was trespassing and asked him to leave. So we're seeing different people come up to the podium, check audio levels. That is standard for a press conference like this. We were told by the group hosting this that it will start in a few minutes. And we, again, are expecting to hear for the first time addressing the media, the Anthony family, to get their perspective, their thoughts, setting the record straight, addressing what they call falsehoods in this case. So many people have been discussing it as their son is losing brother. So we will keep an eye on this, update you with any information as we get it, and listen in when we can.
More dead air. I'm gonna pause this for a second. I kind of somewhat understand why the dad showed up. Your child, unfortunately, was unalive. I get that. I get you hurt. I get you angry. But sir, be be at home with your family, okay? Your main priority right now should be your family, not showing the world how pissed off you are. And I currently put on 2S speed so we can hopefully get to the press conference. Oh, oh boy. Okay, here we go. Wait a minute. Okay, I thought it was they were getting ready to speak. False alarm, false alarm. Somebody need to start talking here soon. Sometime today, people, y'all are wasting my time.
If you take a look at the screen now, what you are looking at is video of Jeff Metcalf being escorted out of the co-working space for the exchange. Jeff Metcalf, the gentleman wearing sunglasses and a blue shirt, is being escorted out as the father of Austin Metcalf, who was the teenager who was stabbed and killed in the traffic. He is being asked.
Man, they had to get six cops to escort this dude out the building.
Are expected to speak. You can see there he's shaking hands with officers. He was escalating. That press conference is starting now.
Okay, here we go. Here's the press conference.
I'm gonna spray this across you before I get started. Just make sure you let me know if any one of your cameras are. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. We all good? We all good? Okay. All right. I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note. A deep note that I can tell America. What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words. Don't quote anybody. is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked. We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a minister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same matter of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I would not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later, is that was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. He was not invited. He knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting non-stop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it. The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular. So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful. Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course we want to. Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today I come before you with a heavy heart, but determined in spirit. Not just as an advocate, but as a black man, as a father, as a protector, community, and children. There are four critical points that I must address today, and I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice. First, the misinformation about the fund. From the very beginning, there was an intentional disinformation surrounding the fund created in the support of the Anthony family. The Karmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by Give, Send, Go. Let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. But we saw on Twitter, we saw on Facebook, and so many different things of the false, lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, and private security. Let me make this very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had a security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail. One of the individuals that escorted Karmelo Anthony out of jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever, or splurged or whatever. But if they have the audacity to spend money for their safety and security, that's their prerogative. The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, just yesterday, they were officially notified by Give, Send, Go that they could start the withdrawal process. But if anybody know about this process, they know that that takes about 2 to 3 days to withdraw from that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about the fund. It was to discourage the public from giving to the fund. That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ was able to call, Give, Send, Go, everybody in the media and in these news outlets that I've never heard before could have did the same thing. When I first called Give, Send, Go, they gave me every information that I needed. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on regards to that. Let me make this very clear. This family never authorized a single fund on the GoFundMe platform. All of the funds that were raised on the GoFundMe were all fraud. All of the funds that was raised on that platform were fraud. Okay? The family was the first to report these funds. One of the funds we identified raised up to $11,000. So a post about anything that stated that GoFundMe took everything down regarding Karmelo Anthony, that was at the request of the family and their supporters. This family never tried to create an account on GoFundMe. The Next Generation Action Network is very well aware of the company's policy regarding raising funds for legal defense. Okay? Since this tragedy unfolded, the Anthony family has been subject to unimaginable amount of hate, racism, threats to their safety. People have sat outside their house, sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person. This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice, and in return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still brings. But let me say this loud and clear. We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent. What I've always said as the president of the Next Generation Action Network, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people. We will not ask for permission to stand up for the rights of our children. The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother and once I make this statement, okay? All right. There's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate. Okay? We ask that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us what went on, I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain or thunderstorm or clouds. Y'all are the media. Ask your journalists, your weather journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator of your children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony. Okay? So in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public. We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong. You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing. You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting or having conversations, they have made their mind up. And we want to make sure that the record, that we talk truth to power in regards. I wanted to lay this out to ensure, because of the sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about the 4th, and let me repeat this, so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent, I know you know this is all law, is because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge are minors. In the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors. So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to. Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law that will express everything, will lay out everything. We can't talk about it if we wanted to. Okay? So make it clear. Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop. The social media, stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all. Just stop. We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox. Do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world. Everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what was going to happen to you, okay? So don't ask that question. Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker. I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on her just shows Black America that no matter what you pick in the ballot box, and that is your constitutional right, it's people out here reminding us of the Black struggle in America. This woman is a registered Republican, has been for years. She put herself through school, she raised her family, she did everything. I'm a registered Democrat, proud. I'm the chair of the Dallas County Democrat Resolutions Committee. I don't know that woman. And to call her leftist is just downright, the bond that was given is according to law and consistency with practice. If Aaron Dean can get a $300,000 bond when he killed Tatiana Jefferson, Karmelo Anthony can get a $250,000. If Amber Geiger can get a $200,000 bond when she kills both of them in his own home, he can get a $250,000. If Roy Oliver can get a $250,000 bond after he kills Jordan Edwards, all white officers, why couldn't Karmelo Anthony be entitled? A child with no background, no criminal background, no endangerment to the community, none whatsoever, be placed on a ELM and brought home. Please help me understand. Make this make sense. It's consistency. It's consistent with practice. After this, y'all, so that we'll know, this will be our final press conference until this trial. We will not speak to the media again after this, okay? Don't ask for comment, question, or whatever it is. The actions that the Next Generation Action Network take on Frisco ISD will be separate from the legal process because we want to make sure that Karmelo Anthony's due process. This is going to be a jury case. And then let me make this very clear. This is a case that has not even been indicted. So, under the guise of Texas law, it's not even really proceeding to a trial yet because it has not even went through a grand jury to be indicted. We don't know if a grand jury will indict or not. We don't know. That's in the district attorney's hands, okay? And their legal team is preparing a packet for those things, and we will not be talking about the legal process regarding this case, okay? So after today, I just want the media to know, and I want the public to know. I don't care what you say about me. I've been in this thing for 11 years. I am tried, tested, and proven. I'm gonna just say, I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You don't gotta inbox me, you ain't gotta tell me. I am the first person to tell my testimony. I don't have to prove anything to nobody. I am a proven testimony standing here that God, even when you make mistakes, God is not finished with your story. I'm gonna bring this mother, Kayla Hayes, and it has taken her a lot of strength, y'all, to come and do this today. And I want you guys to respect her as she reads this and giving her the respect that she deserves, y'all.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a 2-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm gonna show something of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable thing that led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family. Posting the family's picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah. She's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I ask, because these racist bigots tried to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Cal Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the video of Cal Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that, and he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything. So, since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided. And I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process. I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to have his funeral. And I wouldn't dare, even with the information I know, and plenty of people can share that and all that, but we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums. It will come out. They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family will go through a process of being able to get prepared for this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time speaking to the public and holding a press conference regarding this particular case. Now, the Next Generation Action Network will talk about Frisco ISD, but we will not do this. I will not ask this mother to do this again. The attorney will not. We won't do this again. Don't ask. We will see you at trial. Whatever venue that is, we will see you there. I stand 10 toes down supporting this family. And I want to thank all of the community leaders and people that I have seen that have came here today. Bishops and pastors and clergy, community leaders with respectability in this community. I see them today. And I want to thank them for their presence, because this family needs strength right now. Thank you, and God bless you.
Okay, and that's it.